I mean, I know that music. But...
Hello and welcome to DDOCast episode 658, recorded on Wednesday, November 24th. I'm your host, Patrick. With us this week, we also have DDO Players News and Draculetta.
That's right. Hey, and welcome to DDO Players News. That's right. We have done it again. We successfully did it twice now, so we thought, why not try it a third time? We're crossing the streams to see what happens.
Which is appropriate because I actually just watched the new Ghostbusters movie.
Me too,
night.
As a matter of fact.
So, you know.
Me too. Yeah. So we are definitely crossing the streams. What could possibly go wrong a third time?
So much.
We'll see.
We keep doing this because we think it's a good idea, and
we do, yeah. And it's usually because our schedules are weird, and it's like, hey, you want to do a show together? It's like, sure, that'll be easy.
Yeah.
So
and then it takes us a month to get it, or a week to get it scheduled.
Right, exactly. Yeah, if you only knew how long we have been talking about this. So yeah, if anybody subscribes to both feeds, surprise, it's gonna be the same episode. You're welcome, I guess.
Pretty much.
Let's jump right into it because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We have game news and a lot of game news. Probably the biggest thing I would think would be update 51.1 has arrived. Came out Thursday, November the 18th. A lot of stuff in this, a lot of Epic Destiny stuff. That's your cue to expand.
Oh, am I supposed to go down the list or something? Right. We planned this, I swear.
We are professionals, folks.
Yeah, I mean it's all kind of mostly based around, I shouldn't say all, but it's mostly based around the update 51 and the Epic Destinies because that was what update 51 was. But there are also some other stuff. I can cruise through these real quick. When resetting Epic Destinies with Platinum, the Platinum multiplier for further Epic Destiny resets performed in a short period of time has been reduced by half. So if you're changing your Destinies a lot, which I think we should expect players to... This is good, because we should expect players to reset their Epic Destinies more often than like heroic enhancements, because there's more versatility, and you might want to change it for whatever raid you're doing or something like that. That's just going to be part of the endgame meta. All Epic Strikes now list the following information in their tooltips. Every Epic Strike shares a cooldown with every other Epic Strike. Using this ability will put every Epic Strike to the ability's cooldown. I mean, helpful, but I'd also like to see him color code the border or something, make it really super duper obvious. But you don't know what any of this means, do you?
Some of it, I was about to say, I don't know what some of this means. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's a good.
Some of it I do, but anyway. Continue.
Typos, text corrections, yay. Exalted Angel Core 2 and Magus Core 2 now properly give their plus 10% maximum spell point pool, which is good. No longer erroneously giving out a 10% reduction to the cost of all spells.
That seems good.
I mean, it's like, which one of those is actually more effective? Which one's more beneficial? I don't really want to do the calculus math.
A little of that.
Yeah. Draconic Incarnation, the second and third cores are now properly hidden in the buff bar. It's kind of nice. Exalted Angel, let's see. Exalted Enchantment DCs now have the correct icon. Holy Command now has a functional saving throw matching the spell level and DC of the pillar of spells it comes from. That's probably good. It no longer works on bosses and now functions like Greater Command in terms of valid targets it will affect. Sure. Delayed Judgment now has a functional saving throw based off the Conjuration School. It all now properly scales. There's no longer broken formatting in Flame Sphere's tooltip. What tooltippy stuff. No, I think I'm just going to start skipping the tooltippy ones because they're not really that interesting.
There's a lot of those.
The damage and healing effects of Exalted Angel's Epic Moment Ascendance now scales properly with spell power. The exception being the heal to full on use, which isn't meant to scale. I mean, look, you're healing him to full, right? Can we just let it scale? That'd be kind of fun, right? Although I think the reason it doesn't scale is so that Reaper scaling doesn't affect it. That's my assumption there. Fate Singer, Discordant Stun now works like a typical stun in terms of targeted effects. The size and radius of healing effects generated by Majesty has been greatly increased. The radius of the mantle damage burst has been greatly increased. The mantle now correctly scales with the highest of melee or range power. It does what it says it does. Let's see. Fate Singer's upgrade to Spell Singer's Reverberate no longer breaks its ability to stack. That's good.
Neat.
Yeah. I was noticing that my Bard was a lot more effective as a caster than he used to be, which is great because now he's way more effective than he was as a melee DPS, which was not actually useful for DPS. That's kind of nice. Fear of the Wild, Wade Through has the correct minimum level. Great Leveler now uses trip boosters instead of stun boosters for its DC. Ram's Might and Animal Growth no longer double apply when you take the upgrade in Fury of the Wild, which it doubles it, so I guess it was doubling it. Something like that.
A double.
Yeah. Grandmaster of Flowers, Drifting Lotus now has its original range, area of effect placement, and now properly respects stunning immunities. Dreadnought, Battle Engineer's Shadow Defenses no longer fails when you have legendary Dreadnought's Tier 5 Sundering Swings, and now uses the effect of Sundering Swings if you have the skill. Cool. Layway, Strip, and Sunder effects no longer work on creature types immune to Trip and Sunder. A lot of that going too. Dreadmantle no longer has its broken formatting and tooltip. I'm reading some of these for the first. I've read through these, but it's like, you know, you read through them and then you like read through them for the show, and you're just like,
yeah, exactly. I do that all the time, and I'm like, I don't remember that, and I read through these.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
Magic Eclipse has some proper icons. I think we already talked about that one. SLAs in Magic the Eclipse now properly list their maximum caster level. That's kind of helpful because that is max caster level is like one of those weird things that is kind of annoying. I wish there was a way to like tell what you could look at it in the combat track or the combat log, but it'd be nice if there was a better way of seeing what caster level and max caster level you're casting things at. That system's really confusing. Moonlance and Gloomsphere now have their intended max cash level of 20. It was 18. See, passive bonuses from No Magic R now properly apply, including its bonuses to spell DCs. Great. No Magic R now has its intended 2-minute cooldown. There's a few of those in here too. Lunar Insight's abilities now specifically mention Arcane Insight is an epic feat. Be helpful if you didn't know that. See, Chill R now properly looks at the target's vulnerability, cold, and negative to decide whether or not to apply damage, and should we do it more consistently. Primal Avatar, the minimum level requirement for several abilities has been corrected. Ally spells now ground targets to determine where the ally is created with no offset. I don't even know if I know what that means.
I was just about to ask you.
Nope.
I am so lost. Okay.
I think it means the ally is supposed to land where it's supposed to, or I don't know. That's weird.
Okay, yeah. I thought it was weirdly written.
Yeah, it's not super clear.
Right.
Natural shielding will no longer kill undead pets.
Well, that's handy as well.
Shadow Dancer, the correction issue with the cooldown for Weird, which I think had like a 6-second cooldown instead of like a 30-second or a minute cooldown like it's supposed to. Weird is also properly a fear-based spell now. No longer automatically prepared for Artificers. Shadow Dancer's Core 3 now properly boosts Alchemist Evasion Feat. That's good. Shirade Champion. Beguile now properly charms enemies. Known issue. It no longer has its unique visual effects on affected creatures, and it is said improperly using the pink charm hat. Side note, I've heard that Confusion is like really effective now. Kills a lot of things. Let's see. The Prism Mantle now correctly describes the amount of damage it can proc on spells. Several effects that were displaying twice have had their additional copies hidden. And ones that were not meant to display have been hidden. Let's see. Good Luck now gives us listed Fortitude and Will saving throws. Bonuses. Good. Unyielding Sentinels, Mind Control Protection now grants properly. Rank 3 is Strength of Vitality now grants its hit points correctly when you don't have the mantle active. So those are the Destinies. Feats that claim to modify poison, negative, and positive spell critical damage now correctly do so. Thank you.
Yes.
Legendary versions of the Sands of Nectarin Adventure Pack items are now available. They work like the other ones. Several items from the Epic Sands loot set now have the correct augment slots as well. A note about the items, like if you're wondering, hey, what items can I get from Legendary Sands? You have a couple options. You can go to the Legendary Altar in the 12 and look through them. You can also the wiki, DDO wiki, does have an Update 51 loot section. There was no content, but it put these in there. And it's the only thing there, so it makes it really easy to find. So that's kind of nice. Let's see. Quest and adventure areas. Sentinels of Stormreach, Sands of Nectarin, and the Severlin Carnival have been reopened, which is great. I think the only thing that's left is Vault of Nights 5 and 6 and Chronoscope. Don't quote me on that.
I think that's right. That seems like that was all of them that were closed, and those are the only two that. Yeah, so I think you're right.
That sounds right. The Spinner will once again be debuffed by direct contact with the Spirit of the Silver Flame in Spinner of Shadows. I discovered that when I read it, that it was broken. Took me a minute. Like, wait, how am I going to sit there like chucking spells at her?
Working?
She's like, wait, she's not dead yet? How is she not dead yet? Did they buff her? Wait, she hasn't taken any damage yet? Uh-oh.
What's going on?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a uh-oh there. See, Blacklock, the failed experiment prison doors are now properly attached and open in the proper order. Many objects and quests that should be able to be lit on fire are once more able to be lit on fire. Including in Inferno of the Damned, torches now respond to spells like Fireball and Cone of Cold again. Very helpful. Reaper difficulty. The process of adding and removing bonuses from Reaper enhancements when players enter and leave Reaper dungeons has been overhauled to improve game performance. And it worked drastically. So what was happening is when you would go on a quest, so you know when you change, you used to change in Epic Destiny, like, and then the game would kind of pause while it took everything off of you and then put everything back on you. Yeah. So it was doing that with Reaper enhancements. So every time you went into a quest, it would apply all of the Reaper enhancements, and then when you came out, it'd unapply them in that same very laggy manner. So if you say had, I don't know, 12 players in your party in your raid, and they all had like 100 Reaper points, it had to remove or add as you went in 1,200 Reaper points across all the characters, and would cause a lot of lag. So that's like basically gone now. It's amazing. I will mention, I didn't write it in the notes that I took when listening to Severlin's Q&A, but he did mention that he said something to the effect that like this is not the only thing that happened. And he made it sound like this, they didn't actually do this. Like this wasn't what they did. It just like haloed out into this. I was a little confused by that.
And see, I was kind of too, but that's kind of how I took it too. That like this was like a happy accident of some other lag work they did, and that it's like, oh, this works good for that
right.
too. So, yeah.
I don't know if I would call it an accident, and like I think they were actively trying to do something, and they knew it was going to do this, but it wasn't the only thing that it did.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's also like that might also apply to like Epic Destinies, taking those on and off. Maybe I'm not sure. Arcane Tempest is no longer automatically prepared in Artificer spellbooks, so no extra spell for you guys anymore. Holy Aura now applies to the caster. Let's see. Tooltips and values of epic spell power feats and legendary feats have been adjusted to make them easier to understand when looking at your character sheet. It's purely a visual change to rely on universal spell critical damage rather than boosting each type of damage individually. Should result in the same stats, but it required adjustments to tooltips. So the old spell power feat read 15% damage for a specific type, plus 5 to all other types. The new one says plus 10% damage to a specific type and plus 5 to universal spell critical damage, which is also added to the specific type, for a total of 15% to a specific type. And then they did the same thing with the legendary spell power stuff, the Scions. now it reads 15% damage to a specific type and 10% to all types. Although they did put all other types, which is it's supposed to be all types. I'm not sure that this is less confusing. Seems more confusing to me.
I was totally confused because I'm like, this makes it worse than how you had it before. But
Yeah.
okay.
15% to a specific type and 5% to all other types.
Yeah, that was really easy to understand, I thought.
What was hard about that?
But apparently not. What do I know?
Weird.
What do I know?
Some known issues. Reaper Arcane Tree's 4th, 5th, and 6th cores are giving out incorrect hit point and spell point values. A few perfected sand items have incorrect naming. A small problem from the Severlin Carnival and Storm the Beaches and Tide Turns and Sentinels of Stormreach have not had their epic difficulties returned back on yet. Rust monsters in Vault of Night have incorrect hit point totals. Where are there Rust monsters not in Vault 5?
That's what I was just trying to think.
Can't think of any.
I can't think of any either. That's what I was like. There's Rust monsters in Vault? Okay.
Most of the Scrags in the dungeon Into the Deep in the swamp are incorrectly statted as bosses.
Oops. That'll make that a little
dungeon
more fun.
In the Deep in the swamp. You're underwater. What's swamp? Confused by this.
Well, I guess you have to go through the swamp to get to it, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, you start underwater, and there's like 2 side caves. Do they mean the cave? It must mean the cave. That swamp doesn't make any sense. Cave.
Right, exactly.
We need a technical editor here. Make notes make sense.
So that is a quick little rundown. Like I said, a lot of the update was just to tweak the epic destinies, which makes sense because that was the bulk of 51. So makes sense.
Mostly stuff that's not working.
Tweak to it. Right. So is there anything else with the update 51?
Oh, that's the update.
Move on. All right, let's move on to some good stuff. And that was executive producer Sev was on the weekly Wednesday live stream last week with Jerry, and they were taking some Q&A from the audience, and they talked about quite a bit of stuff, actually. And he kind of threw out some of his, like, we would like to do this. So keep that in mind as we talk about some of this. This is not, hey, this is coming to DDO.
Some of it is.
I mean, some of it is, but there was some stuff they talked about that was like, we would like to do this. So the first thing they talk about that I actually rewound it and listened to that part a couple times because I was like, what? They have a vision, and you can put air quotes for vision, for permanent hirelings. These will level with you. So it sounds like they want to get it to where you get a hireling, you get it, and when you level up, your hireling levels up with you.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. And the idea, I guess they already have tech to put gear on hirelings.
Which I didn't realize. Well,
you do it with the pets, but
yeah, and I guess hirelings, if you pay attention, sometimes they pull out a different weapon or something. Yeah. I've noticed. So I guess that's kind of the tech in place. So I guess there's some way that we could access that and actually gear them up the way we would want to.
Yeah, unknown if it means that it's just armor and a weapon, which I mean still would be really valuable to put on them.
Yeah, this is an interesting concept though.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it pans out. I could see some problems with I'm reincarnating and now I lost the gear that I put on the hireling.
Right.
Can you put a sentient weapon in a hireling's hand?
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah,
kind of an interesting question.
So that would be interesting. I don't know. We'll see.
Emphasis on long-term vision, though. They haven't
right
iterated on this or anything. I don't think it's even had design discussions yet. It's just kind of I think they've had discussions about it because he did mention that they don't want to add. The question was actually about hey, can we get more Gold Seal hirelings, permanent Gold Seal hirelings, like the ones you get for expansions? And basically his Severlin's answer was, well, we don't want to just like toss a bunch of these out because we don't want to like fill this design space for this thing that we're thinking about doing. So, which they said about Epic Destinies too. So, and that only took like what 5 years to happen. So,
So, moral of the story: don't hold your breath for this.
yeah,
But
don't wait for it.
I'm interested to see what they would do and how this would work, though. I mean, it would be fun to play with, I think, and to see if they could actually implement it and make
I
it
mean,
work.
they're still gonna have the same problem. They're hirelings. They have dumb
Right.
UI.
Right. I mean,
mean-
let's face it, hirelings are not the brightest individuals in
Yeah.
the game. So,
I mean, I
there's
can give them
that
better
aspect.
hit points and better spell power, but that's like all I
Right.
really care about.
Right. Also, we did get a confirmation, which I'm sure all of us kind of knew this was going to be what it was anyway. But yes, Isle of Dread is going to be the next expansion.
Yay.
I'm excited for Isle of Dread. It's one of my favorite pen and paper modules, so I'm excited to see what they do. And like I already assumed it was going to be the next expansion, which I assume everybody else did. I guess maybe I'm just speaking for a lot of other people, but
we
I
thought
kind
it
of
was going to
assumed it
be
was
for
going
a
to be the
while.
expansion.
So, I mean, we knew they
Right.
wanted to do Isle of Dread. They've been talking about Isle of Dread for
Yeah, for
a couple years.
they kind of teased it at Gen Con a couple years ago. So yeah.
I mean, I think they did Haunted Halls, and then everyone was like, "Ooh, Isle of Dread would be great." They're like, yes, Isle of Dread would be great. We can do dinosaurs. So, and what? I don't know. How many years ago that we got Haunted Halls?
And where he did mention they are already working on creating dinosaurs because they are excited about dinosaurs, and we do have some in the game already, as you know from Sharn. So they're excited about that. Shut up, Siri! I
What
didn't
did you
ask
even
you.
say? Like, I didn't
I
even.
don't know.
Wow,
I
think your
don't
Siri is broken.
know. I think my Siri is broken because I did not even say her name and she started talking. Shut up. Okay. Anyway, sorry about the rude interruption from my AI assistant. So yes, so they're already working on the dinosaurs, and he did state that it's not going to be exactly like the classic pen and paper module. It's going to be their own take, which kind of made me go, hmm. So I don't know if that meant that it was too hard to DDOify the content, so they're just gonna kind of do a homage to it.
I
I'm
mean,
not sure.
they kind of.
They kind of do
That's
that
kind of what they
anyway.
always do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like some of them focus it more
exactly.
than others. Like Haunted Halls, I think is pretty darn close. But like Ravenloft is not the mod, right? It's not.
Right. It sort of follows Curse of Strahd 5e book.
I mean,
There's a
given how like
couple
open ended,
diversions, but yeah.
I mean, given how open ended and how linear they made it, like they did a really good job with that.
Well,
I think.
they
But
did. Yeah. Yeah, they do. And I have said this on the show before, but I think they do a good job with the classic modules. They do a very, very good job at taking them, taking the pen and paper and putting it into a video game. Because let's face it, pen and paper is totally different than a video game.
mhm.
So I think they do a good job, and they stay as true to the source as they can stay. And like I said, still DDOify it. So it'll be interesting to see their take on it. I can't wait. Early or late spring, early summer subset in the chat. So that's a little sooner than I thought, actually.
Kind of explains why we're not getting super amount of content. Although, if you think about it, it kind of fits well, right? Like, because Update 51 is this big, massive, like there's no content in it. It's just engineering stuff, right?
Systems, right?
So
Yeah.
they could already have started working on that. We did find out as well that not to steal some thunder for what's coming up, but they're talking about like Update 52 will have a quest in December ish. But it doesn't sound like it's going to be a big update at all, which is normal for that time of year.
Yeah, I was just saying that if you look back,
Mhm.
that is usually how it is, and we usually do get an update. It seems like there always is a quest, and it's
Yeah,
usually
I'm sure it'll be free.
a smaller quest. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's gonna say most of the time it's a free quest. I can't think of any time that it has not been a free to play
I think we
quest.
got like, did we get like Borderlands around that time once? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I'd have to look back.
Yeah, but like Tower of Frost was one of these quests.
Yeah.
So to kind of give, the Promise of Fire was one, I think last year's.
And then the one before that was the one that the Sahagwan quest underwater. It kind of what's the name of it?
Lost at Sea.
Kind of yes, that's the one. That was a December quest as well too. So
What's it? That was kind of the tie into Sharn though. That was
yeah.
it wasn't really standing alone, but
Right.
But then they're update 53. They're looking at having an adventure pack and a raid early next year. So here's the problem. Here's what I think people are going to kind of react to. Like, there's going to be a lot of excitement about Isle of Dread, but I'm
definitely
right. Like, Isle of Dread sounds great. I've never played it. I've never done old content. Right. Like, I only just recently started playing modules and stuff that I didn't do. Which has been fantastic because I'm busy, which is why there hasn't been a show every week, and it's really easy to prep when it's like it's all done for you, right? Just read. But I mean, we had Saltmarsh, and then and then we had was Perils after Saltmarsh or before Saltmarsh? I can't remember now.
Before.
That sounds right.
I think before.
Yeah. But so you're looking at how much content we've gotten recently. Like, so you had Saltmarsh, which is an expansion. I mean, they can call it a mini expansion, but it was an expansion. You had to pay money for it, right? Like, I don't care how small it was. Like, it was money involved. And then you get a free quest, an adventure pack, and a raid. And then the next thing is an expansion. Like, we're already having problems. And we're going to start talking about VIP value in a minute because he talked about that next. Kind of appropriately. Like, I'm excited for Isle of Dread. I understand it should be an expansion. Like, I'm not disputing that. But, guys, come on. Like, every update can't be an expansion. Like, we need a lot more content than just expansions.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that pattern, and it's very troubling, the pattern with that. And I'm glad you brought that up because I was actually going to bring that up as well too. I mean, I get it. They have to do expansions because it's money influx for them. I get that. But as you said, everything can't be an expansion.
Or at least make, like, the quote mini expansion needs to, like, be mini expansion in the price.
Right.
I mean, so, like, here we go. So I'm looking at the wiki here. And I'm actually going to go back a little far. Where's Sharn? So Sharn, this is the updates we had. So we had Sharn. Then it was the Soul Splitter series. So that was 5 quests. Keep on the Borderlands is technically 8 quests, but I mean, like, they're like half quests in my head because they're really short. I mean, they're shorter than Korthos quests in some places.
Yeah, they're super short. Exactly.
Right. Update 45, we got Catacombs and Delira's Tomb were added as epic quests. So sort of like half of a thing. Then you had update 46 was The Lost Gatekeepers. So that was 5 quests. Promise of Fire in 47. Fables of Feywild was update 48. So in between Sharn and Feywild, that's not a super lot of content, right? Like, we had a 5 quest pack, an 8 short quest pack, and 1 quest, and then a 5 quest pack. And then you get Fables of Feywild, and then after that you get Perils of the Planar Eyes, so 4 quests. Then we got Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh. We're going to get another free quest and an adventure pack that's probably going to be 4, I'm going to just guess, 4 quests.
4 or 5, probably, yeah.
4 quests and a raid. That's my guess, right? And then another expansion. Like, that's too much content locked behind expansions in my head. And we're going in, like, before Fables of the Feywild and before Sharn, right? Like, there was already, like, hey, value for VIPs, and Saltmarsh came out and there was a lot of clamor about, hey, value for VIPs.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah. So I think that's going to be a problem, and that's going to come up.
It'll be interesting to see the discussions that are around that. Also with Isle of Dread,
I
the
like
level in
how you missaid pitchforks and torches.
I was trying to be diplomatic about it. But sure, there is going to be pitchforks on the yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting. I will have my popcorn ready for all of the forum posts that I am sure to come. With Isle of Dread as the next expansion is going to be the level increase that they have been talking about for a while now.
Which is
I
probably the most
liked,
exciting part about the whole thing in my head.
and I liked how Seb kind of danced around what the actual number was going to be. Did you notice that? Because he never really said the number, but he kind of hinted at it, and then, oh, well, we might do this. We could do this.
I mean, I think they're still kind of iterating on some of that. So,
right.
I mean, they said late spring, early summer. So, I mean, in my head, that's like May, June. That's still 6 months away.
All right, shoot. Well, yeah, and like I said, I'm sure they're discussing this, and once again, I would love to be a fly on the wall just to see the whiteboard that they have going on for all this, because there's probably lots of little notes and erases and scratches out, and let's do this. And we
I mean, if you're scratching things out on a whiteboard, I feel like you're doing it wrong.
Well, okay. I've been drinking. You know what? Maybe my words are not the best. That we should have a new race and a new iconic as well, which par for the course for an expansion.
I don't really know anything about Isle of Dread, but like I do know like dinosaurs in the Corvair. Is that the right continent? Like the main part of the main island in Eberron, the main continent, like has that whole like halfling riders.
Yeah,
riders and dinosaurs, right? And we've already seen some of them in Charn, so.
That's what I was about to say. The biggest thing for Isle of Dread is the halflings that ride the dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to think. I would have to actually grab my module and read through it to see, but I don't remember anything else. That was like the big thing about it. So,
I mean, I want that as an iconic, but my expectation is the iconic's going to be the new race.
Yeah, but how would they do that? I don't know. I just don't understand how they would make that work.
I want an iconic of like, something with like a dinosaur, right? Like a halfling with a dinosaur. Like that would be awesome.
Right.
I don't expect to get that because I expect the iconic to be the same race because it's cheaper to build it that way.
Oh yeah, definitely. So there you go. So more info on that as it comes. Like I said, it's a ways away, but it's interesting that it's not just we're going to do Isle of Dread. Now it's like we're doing Isle of Dread and it's your expansion. Once again, how you feel about it being an expansion, we'll see.
I'm hoping for like a big T-Rex that's going to like try to bite players' heads off. That'd be great.
That would be amazing. I hope we get a T-Rex boss we have to fight. That would be awesome.
I mean, it needs to be bigger than a giant, right?
Right, no doubt. Oh, that would be so awesome. Yeah, make that happen, SSG. Make that happen.
Also Tarrasque.
Yes, that is what. Oh, don't get me started on Tarrasque. That's my dream to have that in DDO and hear people complain.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if there was a quest that was just like just slow the Tarrasque down enough for us to evacuate the city, and it was just like the quest wasn't like actually kill the Tarrasque; it was just survive for 10 minutes.
Exactly. Survive the Tarrasque. That would be about what it would be. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but he did go over more value for VIP, which a lot of us are clamoring for that. We want more VIP value for the money that we pay.
Yeah, he talked about like turning the adventure journal into like a teleporting system that might be free to VIPs.
Which is weird to me, but okay.
I mean, I don't think like it takes very long to get places.
No.
I might have written it down later. They did talk about hey, we have there was a comment, I think Linabel mentioned something along this idea of turning the teleport items into like a bundle, like the horse bag kind of thing, which would be great. But like it seems it would be make more sense to me like if you just did like added stuff to that for VIPs, like did that then added a bunch of stuff for that for VIPs, they could teleport everywhere as opposed to teleporting directly to a quest. He did say that he really wants to do like single player housing, which is kind of more of a 2023-2024 goal.
Which again is weird to me, but okay.
I mean, players want it, right? Like, if you could store more stuff, like that would be great.
That would be that. I didn't think about that aspect of it because I know Lotro has housing, so and I know the games aren't.
He talked about that.
Yeah,
They diverged.
Right there, they used to be, and I know we've had devs on the show too. We've talked about that at one point the games were similar enough to where whatever you do in one game you could just port over with a couple of tweaks to the other game. Now, not so easy.
I mean, there's some stuff I think that's true, but
Yeah,
not a lot of stuff that people want. Like, hey, they have cosmetics. Like, yeah, we can't do that here.
Yeah.
So, but I think with single player housing too, like I know players I've talked to, like, hey, it'd be really cool. You go into a raid and you finish the raid, and then you like can get this little cosmetic thing you can stick in your house, right? Like as a trophy. People will chase that stuff. People will spend extra money on expansions to get get shiny things they can put in their house. I mean, there's probably also an option for like maybe some buffs, like so a la the guild airship. Although, maybe finish out the guild airship for crying out loud, or give me something new to do with guild renown. Like that's one of the things like I always hope to hear when these things is like guild renown would be great to have a use for guild renown as level 200 guild, and it'd also be really nice to put stuff in all the places in the ship. Just saying. So that was kind of interesting. He did mention like maybe this was kind of more of a pondery thing, of like maybe having a boost for getting named loot for VIPs. But also the good thing here is that he's really aware of the idea that if you make VIP value too good to the point that it becomes where like if you don't have it, you're like significantly less than or at a significant disadvantage, which I think is good. But all this to say, like sounds like they're planning on doing more discussions in January. Like they're going to start having like actual conversations about what they can do here in January.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see definitely what they do. And I did like that he did make a point to say that because you don't want to ostracize your community to where, oh, well, you're not VIP, so why are you here? And that's like that slippery slope that they have to. And then you kind of have to be careful too what you do because then people are going to scream, well, it's pay to win now because you're giving VIPs this and that's just pay to win. So good luck to them, which I'm sure they'll be okay with doing it, but at least they're treading carefully with it, I guess.
I mean, I think like giving VIP like a 5% boost to name loot, I think that would be fine.
Oh yeah, I mean that's not. I mean,
it'd be fine.
Other than it won't help me because RNG, but that's besides the point. Stupid RNG. Okay, let's talk about who the hell has Reaper points beyond 156.
My guild.
Like, there's actually people that have over 156 Reaper points.
Dude, I know more than one person that has like 3 or 4 characters with 156 Reaper points.
Holy hell. Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Look, however much time you play in this game, there are people that play it more than you do.
Well,
like,
that's true.
There's like a rule of how games work, right? Like,
true. I don't know why all this like stuff like this should not surprise me, but yet it does every time.
And once you have a couple people that are like, you get a group of people that are like really into doing that and are really good at doing that, and like it's not the hardest part about getting Reaper XP is getting back from 1 to 30. That's the hard part. Like getting Reaper points is not hard. Like you get up to 30 as fast as you can, and if you run everything on like R4, even like you're probably gonna get about 5. Like if you use like a 30% pot and you run everything on R4 that's at level 30 and above, you'll get at least 500k Reaper XP a life. So
Really?
oh yeah, there's so much Reaper XP at cap, right? Like if you want to get Reaper XP, that's how you do it. Like burn up 1 to 30, or get up to 30 as fast as you can. Do all the stuff, do as much of the stuff as you can on whatever skull you can, right?
Right.
If you're concerned about like minimizing the reincarnations, do it on 10 skull. If you're just wanting to do time, like I go more for a time thing because I'm gonna reincarnate anyways, and I don't need to get all of it at once, right? So, I usually do like 6 or 7, depending on the group, and depending on the point in time. It's just so I can go a lot faster than if I was doing 10. Yeah, you can get a lot doing it that way. That's how you get Reaper XP. The hardest part is getting back up to 30 and reset, like because you want the first time bonuses, right? Like that's where you get a lot of it from.
Okay. I guess that would make sense.
Yeah, because you do a quest on like a decent length quest on like R6, a medium quest. I think you end up with something like 6 or 7k Reaper XP with a 30% pot. So, and there's 4 expansions that are level 30 and above. With like,
Yeah, I guess if you
there's
just
a lot of quests.
if that's what you concentrate on and you're running,
Mm-hmm.
Reaper 4 or above with those pots, I guess it would. Okay.
It goes fast. You get up there.
He mentioned something that's interesting, or I thought it was interesting, that he would like to see where the Reaper points are kind of linear, and then
Right.
when you group with people, they would share some of your Reaper power if you're higher than them.
Yeah. So the
Which,
theory that they're kind of tossing around here is toss out the trees. Trees no longer exist. If you have 1 Reaper point, you get this bonus. You get 2 Reaper points, you get this bonus, right? Like, so it's just like a complete linear progression. There's no character choice in it, which I think will rub some people the wrong way. And I like having different stat choices, right? Like that's kind of nice. But even within the design sphere that we have, like people are pretty static about how they go about doing it. Like look, there are choices, right? But it's not a whole lot of. There's not as much choices you think there are for having 3 trees. Like people aren't that. The trees aren't that creative to do, right? So it's just not. Yeah. So that seems fine to me. The big thing there is like what he wants to be able to do is say, okay, you have 100 Reaper points and you go into this quest, and the other people have 25 Reaper points. They would get a percentage of your power. So let's say, oh, you're running with someone who's 100 Reaper points. Everyone else in the party gets treated like they have 75 or something like that, which sounds kind of interesting.
yeah, that is interesting. And there's like other games that do similar
Right.
things to that. So that does make sense where it would be interesting to see if they can actually implement it though.
The problem that they're trying to address here is that players feel like they can't hang with the people that are way ahead of them in Reaper points, which I understand. But like the thing for me that I really like, you can more than you think you can, and there are players that do care, but there's also a lot of players that don't. So I personally think that barrier is a little bit artificial. Now, having said that, I'd like this idea. He didn't talk about it specifically in this, but I think if they went this route as well, I think there's a better opportunity for it to be account wide instead of character specific. Which I think which would like anything that we can do to get away from like put all your time into fewer characters, I think is better for the game. Like people playing more characters is better for the game. It's better for the revenue. People have more variety, get more interested in it, they're more invested. So if I think that would be good if they did that as well. Delvin S in our chat, the live chat, is saying that this is talking about upscaling. Most other games downscale players, so, which may or may not be true. I'm not a good person to ask about other games.
No, that's true because that's how, like, for instance, Guild Wars 2 works that way. You can go into you can pretty much go anywhere and it downscales. So if you're with somebody that's higher and they want to go to a higher level area, it'll scale for you, but you're still in that higher level content, but it's downscaled. So that is true. I'm just trying to think if there's any games that do it where it scales up, and I can't think
Yeah,
off the top of my head any games that go up. But yeah, there are. Like I said, the big one I can think of is Guild Wars 2 that goes down, and I'm sure there's some others as well
I
too.
don't play that many games, so I'm not a good person to
But
ask.
anything else about Reaper
I mean,
beyond
this is all
6?
theory. Like they haven't.
Right.
There's not an official announcement. This is not a design direction. This is just stuff that they're talking about. But having said that, like if you have feedback on that idea, like let them know. That's one of actually Severlin actually talked about this at some point. That one of the things he likes about doing these is he can float these ideas out there. Like the downside is people are like, you said you were going to do this. Like, no, we not what we said.
Right.
But like people give feedback on some of that stuff, right? So that's valuable.
And then they did kind of touch on the tier 5 EDs are currently locked at 30.
Yeah. This was the most blatant they've said this. They've kind of hinted at it. Just like they did, like, it doesn't make sense. We understand it doesn't make sense that level 30, that we put these level 30 and not 29, which we absolutely could have done. But it doesn't make sense because you haven't seen what beyond level 30 looks like. Like,
Right.
oh, well, great.
Great. Can't wait.
I mean, for me, that still kind of goes back to a lot of like the places where I don't like what they did with the Epic Destiny system, which really is just like the main thing is the number of points you have to spend and versus the cost of going vertically in the trees. I think it's too pinchy, and I've had a lot of people say, "Well, you get more points after level 30." Yes, I understand that, but that doesn't fix the problem for level 20 to 30. Like, what comes after 30 doesn't change the problem of level 29 and level 28, right? Like, it makes other places more powerful. So
we are getting a new customer service manager and some new agents as well. So yay for that.
Technical service agents? I'm not actually sure what TS agents are in this
Yeah,
world.
that would be technical service agents. And I guess customer service is actually moving to a more efficient portal. I don't know. They must have been using some archaic software, some customer service software at one point. I guess now they have. He said the name of it, but I forgot what the name of it was. But apparently, it's very, very more efficient for them. Easily to do tickets, so it should help. Hopefully, the speed of response.
I
Knock
mean, I
on
like
wood.
what he's saying. My only issue here is that he's been saying it for like a year and a half.
Right.
Like,
Well, yeah.
is this a new portal, or is this the portal you've talked about like a while back?
Yeah, it sounded like how I took it. This was something new.
So we converted everything to a new portal, and then 3 months later we converted to a new portal.
That's
Like,
what I took it to be. Yes.
what a colossal waste of time when you're trying
But,
to get through a backlog of players.
right. So,
I mean, I know a guy who's had a customer service problem for like almost a year at this point, and
yeah,
it still hasn't
yeah.
been resolved. Like, come on.
So they did say that they're working on the backlog. So there you go. So
Stop
we'll
talking about it and make it
see.
happen. Let's go.
Exactly. And then of course, in all these chats, there's two questions that always come up every dang time.
Lag in 4K.
Yep. Graphics 4K. When are we going to get 4K upscaling? When they have the time. Right now,
Yeah.
they're working on lag. That's all the engineering is going towards lag. And Seb was pretty upfront saying that in the chat. So it is on the radar. It is something that they want to do. He even said that he feels the pain of it because he has a nice fancy 4K monitor. And yeah, so they understand. They know we want it. He said it's a huge project to upscale because every icon in the game would have to be upscaled. And they have about over 10,000 icons, I think Cordovan said.
Yep.
So it's quite the undertaking to do it.
Yep. They're trying to automate some of that stuff. But, I mean, again, yay. Things I keep hearing from Serverlin.
Exactly. Well,
as soon as we can we're just waiting to free up these people to work on this. Like, are they ever going to be free?
Yeah.
I mean, we got Epic Destiny to was like a big thing, right? Like, they got that party finished. Now they can start working on other things. Well, one of those things is going to be beyond level 30, like 30 plus. And I think Reaper mode is probably going to be next after that. They'll probably touch that and try to. He talked about like they want to do a balance pass, kind of shake up the meta. He even kind of posed the question like, can we turn it up to 11? Give us 11 skulls, which admittedly would be pretty cool. Although I would ask that 11 would like be a big jump from 10. Make it really interesting.
11 skulls? Do we really need 11?
I mean,
I'm just hypothetically throwing it out there.
I mean, I think he's a big fan of a particular movie.
Right. Yes.
And
that was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but yes.
So I don't mind it going up to 11. My bigger thing is like I think 1 is fine. Like 1 should not be hard for people to get into. I don't think it scales it doesn't scale fast enough. I think I recognize that means that fewer people would be able to do like higher skulls and even mid skulls, but I think that's kind of okay. So I don't know. Like, I think they need like I'd love to see them like go crazy with like changing up Reaper, and like I would love to see. I mean, my thing is like I would love to see like all the champions that we've had in all the hardcore seasons like show up in Reaper modes and stuff like that. Like change this, like randomize the suites, get more champion types in there instead of the ones we've always had on live. Like I'd love to see more Reapers. But I think stuff just dies so fast in Reaper that it's, and even with, I mean, mileage may vary how far you are into Reaper, but it's the power level you get from like the Reaper points is not the reason why it's easy to kill stuff in Reaper. It helps. Don't get me wrong, it helps, but it's not as much power as players think it is in terms of like going in and playing on Reaper and higher skulls.
And then another thing that always comes up in all these chats are, when are we going to get a mega server? Never. Like,
he wanted more specifics this time about it, though.
Yeah, he did actually. He was a little more upfront. I was surprised because usually they just say, "Yeah, we can't do that," but he was a little more specific on it this time. But then again, I realize other games do this. I don't really. My personal opinion is I don't think DDO needs a mega server. I don't see what the advantage of it would be, personally.
So I think, I mean, it gets more people up, right? I don't know that we need mega servers, but maybe like some server consolidation. Like I understand people like being on Wayfinder, but like I don't understand why Wayfinder's still around. Like, just burn people off of Wayfinder. I think mega servers would be good. It would be helpful. I kind of wonder if they should just like sunset a couple of servers. Not to say that like you have to move off of them, but just say, okay, we're gonna kind of consider Wayfinder like no longer a thing. We're not gonna let you create new characters on Wayfinder. Just like, but if you're on Wayfinder, you can have a free transfer off of Wayfinder, any server you want to go to.
Okay, I could kind of see that.
I mean, there are still, it doesn't solve all the server transfer problems, right? But if you did like one server, like okay, wait, we're gonna do this with Wayfinder. We're gonna shut Wayfinder. You can't create new characters on Wayfinder. And if you have a guild on Wayfinder, get in touch with customer service once they get through the 5 years of backlog, and we'll set your guild up on the new server or something like that, right? I don't know.
And he did mention too that they are actively working on getting all the servers to 64-bit. So that should help with a lot of this. Maybe that might open up the possibility more for some of
Right.
this mega stuff once they actually do. Which, as a IT person, I was kind of shocked that the server architecture they're running on is still actually only 32-bit. I could have sworn when they moved um, data centers and they upgraded servers that I would have think they would have upgraded everything to 64-bit then. It seems like they should have done it then at least. So yeah.
I'm not an IT guy. Like,
So it's just like as the IT person to me was like, why are you still running 32-bit servers? Like, what are you doing?
my armchair or my chair quarterbacking of my football team is more knowledgeable than my quarterbacking of DDO.
Yeah, well, it was just like I was shocked when he said that they were going to move the servers to 64-bit. I'm like, oh my god, you didn't do that when you moved data
Yeah,
servers?
right. Like you would have expected that with like all this other server work that you haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I just
Um,
assumed they already did. So there you go.
just like a quick highlight on that, like kind of some more about it. Like they basically ran into a dead end. Like they were looking at doing mega servers, and then they ran into a dead end. The servers couldn't handle it. I think he was talking about like a master server or something that's like touching a lot of different things, but basically the server capacity can't handle it. So first step, upgrade to 64-bit. Second step, actually make some serious headway on lag. Shocking thing that we need to have happen. That we've only been talking about that for years. So, and then reassess and see if mega servers become a thing that's viable at that point. I think it's kind of the idea there.
So again, with a lot of the stuff he was talking about, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this.
I mean, we're not. There's Damon Eyes in the chat is saying he knows several global banks that still have Windows XP in operation.
That's fair. That is true. There is a lot of places that still run XP. Which
if you're a bank and you're still running Windows XP, like seriously, like security issues. Hello.
With a bank, I wouldn't suggest running XP for a bank. But hey,
I mean, who knows? I mean, hey, in the Matrix they were using like the green and black stuff, and that was like in the future, and they're still using that stuff. So I don't know. What the hell do I know?
Sure.
I will also mention from a couple things from the chat, like Damon and I was saying, be honest. He's going to be honest without updating inventory. Everything else is just redundant. I mean, that's not wrong. Inventory is a problem, and yeah, I think it was all some love of some thoughts about more hardcore champions in life. I mean, it was fun when they came here. Like, I had a blast with it, and everyone I know, they're like, "This is amazing. It's different. Cool. Let's do this more."
Yeah, more of that, please. Yes.
If you want to shake up the meta, change the champions for crying out loud, right? Like,
exactly.
Throw them all in there. Like who cares? Or just change it every month. I don't know. Change it every week, whenever you want, right? Like.
Exactly. Just make us be on our toes. Come on.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
He did mention also that they're looking at having the new producer starting at the beginning of the next year. Doesn't sound like they've actually hired the person yet.
Yeah, that's kind of how I took it too. He said they did several interviews, so I don't know if they're still like narrowing down the candidates. Probably. But yeah, so we'll see once that's officially announced. They did make sure to point out that Seb will still be the executive producer for both games, and he's still the head of the studio. The producer is just going to be the kind of right arm of him, I guess, to put it in that terms. So
it's just pecking order stuff.
Yeah. Which was it Coco Majobo was the last producer?
He was, I believe, the assistant. He was either associate producer. He was associate.
Associate producer. That's what
I think
it was.
That's what it was, right?
Which I'm assuming this is what this is going to be. This is going to be to fill that role that is open now because Coco, whatever he's
Yeah,
doing now.
but they're making that position higher, which I think just means they're giving it more
Yeah.
responsibility. Probably they're looking for someone with more experience, right? Like just that kind of stuff.
Then Ravenloft, which I'm all for Ravenloft.
I mean, you're skipping
They
like 5 other things, but sure.
well, I am. I mean, we can talk about that stuff if you want. We can. Okay, let's pretend I didn't mention Ravenloft. We'll go back. Uh, Epic Destiny Balance.
They will never be done with balance. That's the takeaway there. But I did kind of like what he said a little bit about like, hey, before we like go whack at this system a whole bunch, like maybe let's let players play with the system and figure out what's going on, like what they can do with it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like I haven't even messed with it much, and now you're talking
Yeah.
about, oh, let's change it. No,
He definitely talked about
yeah.
like the thing with balance is like sometimes games get in this weird situation where it's like, all right, we're doing these balance changes, and the players are like, we stopped playing that build like 2 months ago, man. Like balance good, but you gotta be faster. Not that DDO doesn't know anything about needing to be faster about balance changes. There was also he talked a little bit about like plat, like having a better plat economy. They have to. He'd love to get a plat economy more viable, but he'd have to give it a lot more thought. At the core, basically, like lower level players can't get enough plat, and higher level players can't get rid of plat fast enough. So that was kind of interesting part. This was actually maybe like my third most interesting thing for me was he talked about like in terms of the level cap increase about possibly pushing some content up. It's like maybe taking some. I don't know if that means like taking some level 27 quests and making them level 33, or like taking level 32s and making 33 or 34 or something like that. But that sounds kind of interesting to me. He did say the new levels will not change Epic Reincarnation. It was a little vague on this detail, but it sounds like level 31 and higher levels will suppress. So if let's say you're at level 32 and then you epic reincarnate and you go back down to 20, your level 31 and level 2 will suppress, and then when you get back to 30, you'll be back to 32. I guess that's how that's going to work. I'm not exactly sure. I'm also not exactly sure if that's going to work. Like, what happens if you TR as opposed to doing Epic Reincarnation? You have to go to get those levels back. I would kind of assume so, but I'm not sure. Again, sounds interesting. I mean, I have questions about how that's going to work with like level of you versus level of the quests and like penalties and bonuses. So that'll be interesting. Okay, the festival stuff was really boring. They want to make some changes. They don't know if they're going to have time to. Now talk about the Ravenloft stuff. That's fun.
Say, now can I talk about Ravenloft?
Yes, you can talk about Ravenloft.
They have vague ideas for what they want to do with Ravenloft, but they definitely want to go back to Ravenloft, he said, which is exciting personally for me. They did mention they would like to maybe do like a Revenant Universal Enhancement Tree.
That's fun.
So that would be super fun, actually. They're possibly looking at this to be the next post thing after Isle of Dread. So after they get Isle of Dread out the door, this might be the next big thing. We might be seeing more Ravenloft content.
I think emphasis on the big thing. Like, I don't think they're thinking about this in terms of like an adventure pack, but like maybe the next expansion question mark?
Right.
Like,
that's kind of how I took it.
Yeah.
I kind of took it to be the next expansion.
So, you know, the third
pack.
thing after Isle of Dread.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that other expansion pack, which going back to a previous conversation that we just had. And they will use Van Richten's Guide as a resource, which is a book that just came out for 5e.
I'm assuming you've already read it cover to cover like 4 times.
I have, yes.
Yeah. Okay. What the listeners don't know is before I created the show notes, like the show notes that Drac had were Ravenloft, 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 Ravenloft,
I mean,
Isle of
he's
Dread,
not wrong.
Ravenloft.
He's not wrong. I might be a little excited for more Ravenloft. Okay, what are you gonna do? Okay.
Wait for more Ravenloft.
Yeah, just wait for more Ravenloft. So, is there anything else about the chat with that? There was a lot of information from that. I think it was a really good chat this time, and I think he was a little more open about some things this time too.
I think he's open. He's look. Serverlin is, I find, always to be like really open. It's just
Yeah.
like, can he talk about it? That's the thing, right? Like, he's pretty well in. At least I think he's pretty well in tune with like these ideas of hype and not over promising and needing things to have like a release and schedule to like if he could just release like talk about everything, right? But that's not necessarily going to give it like its due. I mean, it's kind of debatable that the Isle of Dread announcement really kind of gave it its due, right? Like, I kind of like it when they they have the pop out pages for hardcore and the Black Friday sales, which we'll talk about in a minute. Like, it's kind of a shame, I think, that they didn't have like a pop out for Isle of Dread and that like coming soon Isle of Dread. Like, even just like coming soon Isle of Dread, right? Like, it'd be kind of fun.
I would think they would maybe a little closer to it, but yeah, I would. I
mean,
can see
now like they're announcing it, even if it just says Isle of Dread coming soon,
right. Just a picture of a big dinosaur. It's like, do you like dinosaurs? Isle of Dread coming soon.
But yeah, whatever.
I get you. So, Hardcore Season 5, it's coming.
Yay.
Yay. December 1st, it starts. I'm sorry, I don't.
It's a shorter season. That's the takeaways here is it's 2 months, December 1st to February 1st, what they're looking at. The rewards are, if you've seen the reward structure, this is going to be really similar to you. There's a level 20 cloak, Season 5 cloak, there's level 10 Reaper, level 10 Reaper point cloak with a 5 that's going to be on it. The thing that's kind of interesting here is the favor rewards and the 20 Reaper point rewards are actually going to be the same as Season 1. Which I have mixed feelings about, and players in general kind of have mixed feelings about.
I was going to ask you your thoughts on that as somebody who did Season 1 to get these rewards.
So I've actually always been like a big proponent that people should get these rewards again. I actually think that exclusivity turns people away, right? Because it's like, hey, you're running around these bloody footprints. Those are amazing. And like, I'd love to get that. Like, oh, well, you can't. Oh, well, you can't. Oh, well, you can't. Like, you keep hearing that. Like, are you going to keep playing the game? Right? Like,
right.
So like, I'm totally on record. Like, I want them to offer these rewards again. Now, having said that, I would like there to be new rewards, right? Like, I've kind of been of the mind that, hey, next season, like I don't like. Here's Hardcore Season 5. Great. If you get a character up to 5,000 favor, pick one of the previous rewards or pick the new one. Pick whichever one you want. Like, that's always kind of been where I land. Like, do the work, get it, fine. I don't care what season you do it on. Like, it doesn't really matter to me. But, the season cloaks, that makes more sense, right? Again, this is all cosmetic stuff. Like who cares? Who really cares, right? Like, you're special. Like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're special. You got the special thing. Congratulations. Like, let other people get the special thing. Who cares, right? It's cosmetic. Does it really mean that much to you that you don't want other people to get it, to get excited about doing it, right? So, like, I'm sure there's people that look at like, oh, the 5K reward for season 2, 3, and 4 is a horse. I don't care about the horse. Like, I'm not gonna do it for another horse. Oh, the feet are back. Hey, those feet are really cool. I want to get those feet, right? I don't like exclusivity things, right?
To be fair, I don't remember them ever saying this was exclusive to this season either.
They didn't even say it's exclusive to hardcore, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Like, if you could get like the season 1, like the cloaks that have numbers on them, sure, that kind of makes sense a little bit, right?
Right, and
they did. Also, I still don't care. Like
they did totally state for the record, your cloak is going to have a 5 on it. You
Right.
cannot get the 1, 2, 3, or 4 cloak anymore. Those are done.
But even those, I wouldn't really care, right? Like,
Right.
who cares, right? Like, I like rare things are great, but everyone should have a chance to get them at any point in time. Like,
Right, and that's kind of how I am
Yeah.
too. That's kind of how I look at it. Cause
it bugs the crap out of me that you can't buy the sentient jewel out of Curse of Strahd with raid runes. Like, you have to just randomly pull it, and the drop rate is so stupidly low. Like, a player cannot reasonably expect to get that really fancy thing, and that bugs me. Like, a player should be able to reasonably expect to be able to get anything in the game. So, Damon saying that exclusives are cool, but don't think any hardcore player would feel slighted if another player could earn or buy it later. People are upset about it, right? Like, people have said on the forums and in places that I read that aren't public that's dumb. Like, I went and got this in season 1. Why is someone else getting it? Make a different color. Like, okay, sure, make a different color. That's fine, but still, like, I don't like exclusive things that other players can't ever get. Players should be able to get the thing. Like, we've seen this with the expansions. Like, the pre-order expansion was the only time you could get the Panther, and
right.
you can't ever get it again. They stopped doing that with good reason. Like, it bugs people, turns people off. It's no fun.
Oh yeah, there's always you'll always see every couple months somebody will say, "Hey, is there any chance we can get that Panther back?" And they're like, "No,
Can't, because they made it exclusive to
you
that.
can't." Yeah, it's like that was a one-time deal,
And they've stopped saying that, right? Like,
yeah.
So
I mean, I can kind of see both sides of it, but I'm kind of more with you. I don't care. Like, let people get the stuff. Like, if you want to put the work in to get it, go get it.
Yeah. It's not like it's easy to get, right?
Right. Gotta say, you're having to work for that to get your 1750 and 5,000 favors. So, I mean, if you put the work in, you deserve to get it, and good for you for
Right.
doing the work.
Yeah. Like, yeah. We're not giving them out for free, right? Like, it still takes work. Who cares if someone else
Right.
did the work?
Right.
Congratulations, you did the work. Let's celebrate together.
Exactly.
Hope you had fun. Hope you killed a lot of people on the way. Hey, want to go hardcore?
No.
Not with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say not with you.
I only killed you once.
I've learned my lesson. But,
only killed you once.
True, and that one death was kind of my fault too, but it's okay. We'll probably talk about that in a little while. So it's Black Friday because as we record this, it's the day before Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody, if you're listening after the fact. Black Friday sales, that's the annual thing. And
Get out
they
your
were
wallet,
announced
kids.
today. That's right. Your wallet will never be the same because I seen the Steam sale started today too. And I've already looked at my wish list and I wish I didn't do that because I'm like, ooh, that's on sale. That's on sale. That's on sale. Crap.
All my wish lists were on Ubisoft, which already were all Ubisoft games, so I already bought those because they went on sale earlier this week.
There you go. So DDO wise for Black Friday, it's the double bonus points.
Plus.
So oh yeah, plus. That's right. It is plus.
Here's a potion.
Well, okay.
I'm a little cheeky today. I don't know why.
I noticed. I'm like, damn. You get 60 to 85% off select DDO market expansions. Included with that, if you don't have Masterminds of Sharn, that is 85% off for Masterminds of Sharn. And the one that kind of surprised me that is already on sale at 60% off is Fables of Feywild, which I was not expecting that to go on sale in the market, but yet here we are. In the DDO store. Okay, I should point out to you that is the DDO market, so that is like real money. That is not points through the store.
Right.
That's real money. So just keep that in mind. But still, if you don't have either one of those expansions, 85% off and 60% off, I would say jump on either one of those.
So just to put this in perspective, the base version of Sharn right now is $6.
Yeah, see, that's crazy.
The ultimate version is 1950. So even if you bought the standard a while back, like when it came out, and now you're like, maybe you kind of would have liked to have gotten the Ultimate Fan Bundle, there isn't an upgrade feature on the older ones yet. They want to do that. There isn't one yet, but still, like you could buy the Ultimate Fan Bundle for 1950 and get all the stuff you didn't get with the base version or even the other version. Like it's still buying the Ultimate version is still cheaper than just upgrade. Like if you just upgraded it, right? So Fables of the Feywild is $16 for the base version and $52 for the full version.
I mean, not as great, but still for a, and I'm using air quotes so nobody can see here, newer expansion. That's not bad. In the DDO store itself, so if you got some points you're wanting to spend, the heroic and epic autos boxes, as I lovingly refer to the McRib of DDO, they're back. And Tensor's weapon boxes are back as well.
Before you get too much farther,
Sure.
those are all fun things. Going back to like the market,
Yeah.
Like, hey, 60 to 85% off of select DDO market expansions. Like, it's just those two. Like,
well, and I was gonna look at the market before we started.
I'm looking at it right now. It's just those two. Okay. Now, granted, the older ones don't actually exist, or maybe they do. But like the starter pack is not on sale. Boo. Put that on sale again, guys. Come on. The expansion trove is not on sale, which is Ravenloft, Shadowfell, and Men of the Underdark.
Which that should go on sale pretty soon too, I would think. It's been a while since I think that's been on sale.
The expansion trove? I don't think it's ever been on sale. It's a new thing. Like they put it in the store because they didn't have the other. Like, I don't actually think those packs are actually in the store. Other than that, I was kind of trying to poke around to see if you could.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that. Oh, I didn't realize you couldn't get those any other way now.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, those are all like 99 points in game right now.
Right.
So how old is Feywild? A year and a half, maybe. Let's just look at this. I can tell you
close to that.
10 seconds. Fables of went in the wrong direction. Fables of the Feywild. It doesn't actually have the date on this. That's funny. I'll tell you in a second. November 5th, 2020. So a year.
Yeah,
for a year.
Pretty close to a year, I think it seems like. That's why I was surprised it was actually included in this sale because it's pretty new. Actually,
which means within 2 years, in less than 2 years, we'll have 3 expansions. Yay, us.
Go DDO. So yeah, we did mention the double points plus is back, so that means you're going to get twice the bonus points in the DDO store, and you're going to get a lesser or greater elixir of discovery. And all of the deals that we just talked about are good through November the 29th, which would be Monday.
It does kind of crack me up that they think that like the potion there is like this really big thing,
right? It's like the selling
point.
Like,
bust, like yay!
What?
It's like
I get elixir of discovery too? Really? Oh, sweet! I'm gonna go buy some points just for that. No,
less than 100 points.
Right? No, I'm good. Thanks. There's also some other deals, and some of these are remarkably good too. 75% off the heroic True Hearts of Blood. Monster manuals are 50% off. Sentient 2 kits 35% off. Also through Monday.
If you don't have the monster manuals, I mean, get monster manuals. They're really kind of helpful. They get more points. They can get you more points too, so they're worth it, especially at 50% off.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a good deal at 50% off. And then we do have regular sales going on too. It's the Dress to Kill sale. 25% off Mirrors of Glamoring, bypass timers, select. I love it when they do that. Cosmetic outfits. You got hats, helmets, and hair dyes through December 2nd. Do have a weekly coupon code. It's a lasting potion of resist Sonics plus 20. 5 of those. Use the coupon code Peace and Quiet. Through December 2nd as well for that coupon code. And don't forget, if you haven't used the free code yet, you have a little bit of time through December the 31st for that, and that's DDO Quest 2021. So if you have not used that code, go do that. Highly recommend you put that in.
I'm not highly recommending. I'm demanding that you put that in.
There's no reason you shouldn't.
I am offended if you have not put that in yet.
Yeah. I mean, I know, like
Not
I said
really.
on my show here, I've talked about it. There's no reason why. Just go do it. Because even if you're VIP, go do it. Because maybe you're thinking at some point you might not be VIP for a little while. Hey, look, you'll still have all this stuff to do because you're gonna have it on your account. So just go do it.
I mean, if you need more incentive, which you really shouldn't, if you put this in and you take a picture of, like, don't send me like your personal information or anything. If you take a picture of the confirmation email and send it to me at DDOcast@gmail.com, every time I get that, I will actively kill Drac one time for you while I'm playing with him.
Oh my god. I cannot wait to see how this works out for me. You know there's going to be at least one person out there. It's like, okay, I'll do it.
I mean, if it gets more people to put the damn code in.
I mean, sure, okay. I'll take one for the DDO community.
Come on, it'll be hilarious.
Be the guinea pig. Yeah, it actually would be kind of fun. So yes, I am all for this. Do this. Let's see how many times Patrick manages to kill me. So we'll see. All right. We have 2 Chronicles to talk about because I know neither one of us has had shows the past couple of weeks.
Yep.
So issue 447.
Mm-hmm.
Strim Tom has a beginner basic series going on, so you can check his series out on YouTube. Shoemaker did make a new DDO Discord channel. I guess the story behind that is the old DDO Discord channel got hacked, apparently. The person that created the Discord server, his
I don't know if it was the person
hacked,
who created it, but one of the admins.
So yeah,
someone with permissions to delete the server got hacked, and the server got deleted.
It got deleted, yeah, is what I guess I gathered. So apparently there's a new DDO Discord channel, so
there is.
Check that out.
It's been pretty hopping, so. And they took some time to, they took the opportunity to like do some cosmetic improvements, if you will, right? If the house gets burned to the ground, you build it better, right?
That's the 3 Little Pigs, but yeah, sure. It's a very obscure reference I just did there, but it's fine. We've got fan site news for our 447th episode.
Whoa. You skipped the comment. No fair.
Well, I usually do the comment after the fan site
news. Oh,
news,
fine. Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. So, do you want to do the comment now, or do you want to do it after the fan site news?
You just got to do the comment. Right,
well, let's just do it now since you brought it up. So the Chronicle comment this week, or last week, or 2 weeks ago, whatever this was, I don't know. It's so confusing since we didn't have show.
Time?
Exactly, it's timey-wimey at this point. Following the obvious crisis, which I'm not sure what this is in reference to, but okay, the City of Stormbreach implemented Blank Friday.
Purge Friday in honor of the crisis of everyone going mad.
Oh, is that okay? I was trying to.
I mean, I think you get to pick your crisis, right? Like,
I'm like, I don't understand what the obvious crisis is, but okay, sure. I was confused about this question. This was a weird question.
Yeah.
But I mean,
just new questions to Jerry. He needs them.
In Cordovan's defense, he's got to come up with one of these, and this is issue 447. So that's a lot of comments.
I don't actually read the Lotro one. I'm assuming he has to come up with 2 every week.
He does actually. Yes, that is true. I guess I never thought about that, but he writes the Lotro Beacon question too. So, submit some questions to him and help the poor guy out. All right, fan site news section for issue 447. DDOcast was celebrating their new Destiny. I assume you were talking about the Epic Destiny.
Yeah, just the launch update 51.
Yeah, I assume that's what it was. We got the Damsel Seal of Approval. That's because Saba Jade was on that episode. That's why. So I did a cheeky little title. But listen to the episode and you'll understand where the seal of approval came in. Axel did his review of Update 51 over on his YouTube channel. So go check that out if you have not yet. Lots of people streaming over on DDO Stream. Voodoo has his coffee and chat. Doug Glendower is doing an extra life. Brighter Days Ahead is going into Saltmarsh. Elsewhere on Twitch, Bryce Loves Gaming goes into the Mist, assuming he's going into Ravenloft. And Deathy TV is running dailies and sagas, and Brackart Quest in Raids. And I think Brackart, I don't remember seeing that name before, so that might be somebody new.
I mean, we get so many new ones these days, I kind of lose track of which ones are new.
Yeah, and it's cool to see, though, that how many new people, just like on YouTube, every once in a while I'll be on YouTube and I'll have like a suggested video for DDO. I mean, obviously, because it comes up in my feed and I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but this is awesome. It's apparently somebody new doing DDO on YouTube. Ashen Wings is running Framework. Dirty Williams running a Melee Wizard. And the Damsel's Game is running Chamber of Insanity. Our screenshot of the week was Immortal on Kenneth is relaxing in the Temple of the Sovereign Host. And that was from Immortal for that screenshot. That's a cool little screenshot of the Sovereign Host Temple. I like it. So, issue 448, another chronicle. Strimtom, once again, is finding a new favorite this time. Learn about his poison tank build over on his YouTube channel. I don't know how Strimtom comes up with some of these builds he does. Like, does the dude just sit around and just think about this all day? It's like, okay, what if I try this? What if I do this and this? And it's just, it amazes me that the builds Strimtom comes up with.
I'm assuming part of it's out of necessity. Like if you're trying to do something different on the stream all the time, this is probably the reason why I don't like make a huge effort of like I have no desire to become like this big streamer of DDO or anything like that. But I'll stream it occasionally. But I mean, he's like trying to make like this as like kind of a pseudo career, right, or a career. And you need to do different things, right? So he's trying to come up with different builds. So it's kind of, I think, out of necessity. And once you really kind of dive into it and are really trying to do it, it's actually, the more you do, it's actually easier. Because you keep seeing the same things over and over again. Like you just get good at it.
And I guess I didn't think about that, but that would be hard if you're going to do streaming as your quote unquote job full time. Like, yeah,
Not
that
easy.
would be super hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, you would have to come out. Yeah, I never thought about that until you said that. But
For
okay,
every
it
one person that makes it work, there's like
Right.
200 that don't.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, so good on you, Strimtom, for doing that. Axel over on his YouTube channel has another guitar cover. If you didn't know, I had Axel on DDO Players News 3 or 4 episodes ago, and we kind of talked about these guitar covers that he did and the time and effort he puts into them. But he takes the game music and he does covers of them. This time he did Militia's Battle. So check that out over on YouTube. This was really, really good. He does a good job on these. He always does, and it takes him a lot of time. Like I said, you can go back and listen to that episode. We did talk about how long it takes him, because fun fact, he actually has to write all of this himself by hand, because of course there's no tabs for any of this available. So he has to listen to it and write it himself. So go check that out. This chronicle comment is name your own epic destiny.
Can I pick stagehand?
Nice.
I've actually thought about like what would a stagehand class be, like in pen and paper a few times. Never really bothered going too far. Yeah, I mean, why not?
Sure.
Stagehands do crazy things, right? Like building, like you'd be really good at building stuff. You know, light and darkness spells makes a lot of sense, right?
It does.
You know, fencing, like stage combat stuff, right? Like there's some fun things you could do there.
My epic destiny would be the favorable RNG or something to that effect. Something to where the RNG actually loves me. But we know that'll never happen, so it's fine. Seriously, like people don't understand. They think I'm joking when I say that. I am serious. Ask Patrick. He has seen what I roll. Ask any of the damsels. And it doesn't matter what game it is. I guarantee you RNG is going to crap on me every dang time.
Sure.
Every time.
We'll come back to
the fan site news section for this chronicle was DDO stream, of course, Voodoo Spice, Coffee and Chat again, Bard Life is a castaway this time, and D&D Night did continue with the Oracle of War, which is your series that you're DMing over there.
Yep. Speaking of provided modules, it's been a lot of fun. It's a little rough around the edges in some of the places. there was one like really obvious loophole. I was like, no, you can't do that. What do you mean you can't do that? It says right here. Like, I know it's a loophole. If I let you do it, it's over.
Like, but I want to do that. Yeah. And players will always find that one loophole if it's there.
I mean, it was a pretty big plot hole. Like it was.
It's like, how did this get through editing? Why did nobody notice this beforehand? Elsewhere on Twitch, Skull Priest 1210 is running Reaper. Deathy TV is on to new Epic Past Lives. And Tom Kapoor has a bear roar. YouTube, roar. Saba Jade is running at Storm Cleave Outpost. That's part of her. If you didn't know, Saba Jade of the Damsels game, she's actually running one DDO quest a day over on the Damsels game YouTube channel. So that's kind of interesting because she's doing like everything. She's just randomly doing quests one a day and putting them up over on the Damsels game. So
if you're doing everything, is it random?
Well, I mean, I guess she's not doing them in order, I should say.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I guess I should have explained that better.
I don't know. You just said it in my brain. My cheekiness came out. I'm sorry.
You are very cheeky.
Let me just put it back in a little bit. It'll be back later. Don't worry.
All right.
They don't have to think about like what I'm doing. You're driving today, so I don't have to think about that, right?
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Samus Garobo is getting some new gear, and Django X runs the Temple of Elemental Evil, and DDO Kasplat gets a new destiny.
It sounds more interesting than it is. It's really just the first time we ran after the update.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask, what's your new destiny?
We got to play with the new stuff for the first time as a group.
Sweet.
So, even though most of us in that group play other times. So.
Right. I guess as DDO Kasplato, it was your first time playing. Okay, gotcha. Screenshot of the week. The Kyber Wolves guild prepares to go raiding, and that's the 532nd DDO screenshot of the week, and that is from Vimmel. Sent that in. So
it's VML.
Oh,
he's in my guild.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I apologize. Like, if
fine.
you listen to my podcast regularly, you know I pronounce names wrong. It's kind of at this point what I do.
Kind of half the fun of saying some of those things, so.
Exactly, and then because like there's sometimes where I'm like, yeah, I'm not even gonna pronounce. Like, no, I'm not even gonna try. It's like that dude sent that in. Great screenshot. Not gonna even try to say that name.
Yeah, right.
So that's our two chronicles that we both missed. And I think that wraps up all the game news. Unless you have something else.
No, I'll throw out the Extra Life.
Which
I think is over.
It was technically the stream and everything is over, but you can still donate.
Can you? What was the deadline? I'm trying to.
Maybe
it was so it was through November 22nd was kind of the. I'm sure you can still give money to like.
Yeah.
If you want to give money to sick kids, like no one's gonna stop you, right? Like, if they are, like, I don't, what the hell. But anyways, I was just gonna mention. So they raised Team Sandstone Games raised $26,884.
Well done.
Yeah,
that is awesome. Good job.
So, and that's all for raising money for I think mostly Boston Children's Hospital. I'm not sure if other team members raise it for other places. But it's Extra Life is to raise money for children's hospitals and support sick kids. So
Yeah, if remember how it works, like the team, like Team Standing Stone was for Boston's Children's
right,
Hospital, but then the individual people could pick whatever, and then if you donated to that individual person as well, that went to their
right.
hospital. So it depends, like who you donated to, but very well done.
But yeah, it's a great cause,
It
and
is. It
it's
is.
really fun to just see gamers do awesome stuff like that. So
I want to participate in it again. I've done it a couple years. It's been a while since I've done it, but I really would like to do it again because it is a very worthwhile cause. And just yeah, always if you see anybody doing Extra Life, no matter what game it's for or what person it is, just give them money because help the kids. It's
also give
just
Jerry a little bit
really
of time to distribute stuff.
right. Yes, yes. I'm sure he's slowly trying to do that, but that probably takes a while.
I'm sure, or I'm assuming he was going to do a Movember thing again, even though it's like the end of November. So I'm not exactly sure how that
Um,
works.
he did. I remember him talking about that.
Or maybe he already did.
Um,
I don't know. They
I
didn't
think so.
post. They didn't push it or something. I don't know. Anyways, there you go.
Well, it was weird this year for some reason. Like Extra Life and Movember kind of collided, which
They've always been on top of
usually,
each other.
yeah, but not as I didn't think as close as what they were this year. It seems like this year they were like just side by side with each other, and it seems like in years past, like Extra Life was always over by the time November came around. Maybe I'm wrong though.
Like the last couple times he's done like Movember starting in like the middle of the month.
Well, that might be too.
I don't know.
So game news. There you go. That is it for the game news. And we're what? How far into the show are we? And we're
Don't
finally
ask.
through the game news.
Don't ask.
Good Lord, this is going to be a long episode. Okay,
Hey, but you only have to listen to it once. It's two podcasts in one.
that's right. Two podcasts and what you can pick which feed you want to listen to, and there you go. See, we're doing you a service, people. It's all for you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Exactly. It's our Thanksgiving gift to you. Also, speaking of Thanksgiving gift, which you'll see what I did there in a second, we got a little bit of news from the dungeon this week, and that is there is going to be a D&D themed restaurant coming to Lake Geneva. Of course, the astute among you might know Lake Geneva, of course, the home place of D&D. That's where D&D started. Gary Gygax lived in Lake Geneva, and that's where TSR started. They are describing this restaurant as an immersive fantasy restaurant and an amusement experience. The name of it is going to be The Griffin and the Gargoyle. It's going to be a 350-seat tavern. It's going to have servers and bartenders as actors, and they're going to be in character. It doesn't say what character, but okay. There's going to be a curated curiosity retail shop. They're going to sell handmade items featuring many popular Etsy artists. The Gnome Alchemist is going to be an upper level molecular mixology bar serving unconventional and dry iced infused beverages. And the Barbarian in the basement is going to be a 12-lane axe throwing bar on the lower level.
Oh, there you
And
go.
of course, there's going to be a restaurant as well. It's going to be 38,000 square feet. They're looking at developing this on a 20-acre spot right off two of the main highways in Lake Geneva, so easily to get to. Tentatively going to open in March 2024.
2024.
Which
Holy
makes sense
cow!
because that would be the 50-year anniversary of D&D. So, but I'm not sure why it's taken them that long to build it. But yeah,
Yikes.
2024. Yeah, yikes indeed.
So I was thinking like
So
one, it'd be really cool if this place does really well because it'd be really cool if they like made it a chain and had it other places.
oh yeah.
Because it sounds like a great idea for like.
This is like I'm surprised this hasn't been done before. Like,
So you
why has
mentioned
nobody done this before?
it's the birthplace of D&D,
Correct.
which I think is in Wisconsin, right?
Yes, Lake
Yeah.
Geneva, Wisconsin. Correct.
Delvin S wants to know if you can order Dirty Kobold, which I feel like someone needs to make sure that happens.
I guess say we need to rally and make this happen. I
Yeah.
am gonna see if I have a press contact with these people and I'm like, I have a drink for you. You need to serve this.
We don't actually know what it is, really, but it needs to be on the menu.
I'll make it up.
Um,
You'll be fine.
It is being asked, did they hire kobolds to build it? 2024. It's the
Maybe
whiz.
that's why they're so
Yeah.
slow.
So my question, like, what does it mean to be in a DDO themed or D&D themed like restaurant? And I'm thinking like, so like when you get the menu, you have to like roll dice to figure out what you're gonna eat? Like, would that be at like a table?
Wrong for me.
Yeah, right.
I mean, other people, you would probably get some kind of like great steak or something. No, I don't know what I would get, but I would roll 2 ones.
Something you're allergic to or something.
I would get a piece of bread. That's what I would get to eat. Everybody else is eating steak. I'm eating a piece of bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be $11 million to build this thing.
I mean, if you're building it from scratch, that tracks.
The rendering of it is going to make it look like kind of like a castle, so it makes sense. But yeah, $11 million.
So like Onward.
So
I feel like someone watched the movie Onward and was like, "That's a great idea."
It's like that's a great idea for a restaurant. So there you go. See, like I said, I'm just shocked. I mean, I know other places kind of like this exist. I think medieval times, is that still a thing? That used to be a thing.
I have no idea.
Where they would like joust and stuff, like you would eat, and then they would have like jousting and all sorts of stuff. I think it's still a thing.
Sounds dangerous.
So yeah, exactly. So this is not like a new concept, but it's gonna kind of have the D&D fantasy tie-in, and it's gonna be in Lake Geneva. So
what if they'll serve dragon steaks?
Oh, I'm sure everything they serve is gonna be fantasy themed like that, and we do have to make a dirty cold bar happen. That needs to happen.
Another good drink name would be a Death Knight.
Oh yeah, it would.
I feel like that'd be a good name for a drink.
It would, and I have a great idea what that drink could be too. Ooh, see, I'm gonna have to go mix a drink now. I've got ideas.
I feel like it's probably gonna involve a stout, but
well, it would, have to, or some coffee liqueur or something. But I have ideas for that. Okay, let me write that down. Dirty Cobalt. I do have to invent the Dirty Cobalt because, as far as I know, nobody really knows what that is. Correct?
I'm sure there's a forum post somewhere that's like had a.
I know at like Gen Con meetups,
suggestion.
I think they have like served those, but I don't know what they. I'll have to go back to the forums.
I'm sure someone's like figured out what it is.
There you
I
go.
vaguely remember a post that was like there were like a couple of drinks, including a Dirty Cobalt, but I don't know if that's actually a thing or not.
I'll have to go back and look.
I've forgotten more posts than I remember at this point.
Exactly. No, I'm right there with you. All right, let's move in. Week in gaming. What are we doing gaming? I did some DDO, which is shocking.
We played.
I did. Played with Patrick. We're doing Reaper. We're running through. Okay, let me rephrase that. We're zerking through Quest.
Yeah,
with
baby.
Patrick. Dude, you are like
Patrick has one speed on a rook.
I swear, half the time I'm like, where did you go? Like, where are you right now? And then I'm like trying to figure out where you're at, and it's like, okay, quest is done, and I'm like,
next.
Like, what just happened right now? But yeah,
here's how Patrick runs stuff with other people. Here's the rope, tie it around your ankles. Take your arms, cross your chest. If it hurts too much, scream. Go.
He's not lying. He is not lying. And so far I've only died once, which I'm kind of shocked about, to be honest. So,
no, 3 times, right? Because you died twice the first time and once last time.
Oh, that's right. I did die last time. What killed me last time? I don't remember.
Red alert in the Explorer area.
That's what it was. Yeah, yeah. Then again, that was your fault. So that's twice.
I already owned up to that, man. I only killed you once. The other times were your fault.
I forgot. No, that second time was your fault too, because you're the one that caused the red alert. You're the one that caused the train of monsters.
That was the one that was my fault.
Okay. That's
you walked into the trap the one time, and a
true.
Reaper blasted
That's
you
true.
the second time.
That's true. because literally, I know I talked about this last episode, but literally, I saw you find the trap box. I saw you go down to turn the trap box off, and I'm like, I'm gonna run up here. Oh, wait. Yeah. So
It was
yeah,
entertaining.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Entertaining. So we'll see if anybody does the code. We'll see how you find ways to kill me with entering the code. Remember, send that to DDOcast@gmail.com. You entering that code, and Patrick will take pleasure in killing me the next time we play.
I mean, pro tip: get it in before undermine.
There you go. So how about you? What'd you do?
Yeah, did some DDO. We did. My guild got together last week and we did Project Nemesis on, I think we did R5, then we did Baba's Hut on R10, just to kind of play with the new destinies and kind of see how it was. Went really well. I think it just kind of confirms the kind of what I've already kind of seen, is that it seems like the new destinies let you punch harder, but you definitely get hit harder too. Like, things hit harder and hurt more.
I can imagine.
Yeah, Babala Saga's Sonic Shout, maybe it was Greater Shout. It was a Sonic spell. I'm not exactly sure which one it was. Probably Greater Shout, but that was hitting for like almost 7k damage a pop. So that hurt a lot. But it was a lot of fun. So we did that. We played together. And then I've been playing some with Mythri. We finished Borderlands 3 and the first Halo. So I think next we're going to start Halo 2. Should probably stream it, but we haven't been for no particular reason. So
yeah, I was going to ask why you guys weren't streaming any of your stuff.
Not just no real reason other than it's just, you turn the stream on and you got to pay a little more attention to what you're doing. And stuff like that.
I noticed that because it had been a while since I streamed, and then I streamed us playing the other night, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I gotta like watch the chat and see if anybody is like, yeah. So it's
I really don't like streaming alone, right? Because it's like you just kind of feel like you need to have I need to have a conversation with someone to stream, right? Like this works obviously because we're having a conversation, but even when we're like playing and you need to kind of have something. When I've streamed hardcore, like that was fun. We streamed like the new quest stuff, but I'm doing it like with a group, with people, with friends and stuff. So we're kind of talking about it and kind of shooting the shit and that kind of thing. So it's like 2 people is better, but it's still not necessarily easy to do, at least for me. So we might stream some more though. Just depends on if we feel like it. So what I should do is at least start recording it, just so like I can do something with it. Maybe if there's something worth putting up, but.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if something like cool happens or whatever, at least you would have it. You could just do a quick little video for YouTube or something. But
I mean, the coolest things that happened when we played Halo was Mythri killed me.
Way to go, Myth! Good job.
Yeah, it happened a few times.
No. Man, I haven't played Halo in like forever.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too. She hasn't ever played it, so it was fun to kind of go through it. It'll be more fun. Like I've only done 1, 2, and 3, so we got the Master Chief Collection. So it also has ODST and Reach and 4.
I was about to ask if it was the Master Chief Collection that you were playing. Okay, cool. And you're playing on PC, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't really play on not a PC anymore. I bought an Xbox 360 a while back, in part because I wanted to play the newer Halo movie or Halo stuff, and I played it a little bit, but not. I played Fable, I think, because I wanted to play that. I had played it. So I played like Fable and Fable 2 or something like that, but I'm probably gonna sell that soon, just because it's like I don't use it, so, and I don't need it. Like I use it as a DVD player for a while, but I don't really do that anymore. So
right. So exactly,
it's taking up space on my desk, and I bought it cheap. It was like, this is a rental fee. I'll sell it in a couple of years for like $20, and
see, there you go. Yeah.
Which so we're probably there. But anyways, so we did that. It's about, I think I pretty much covered what I did.
All right, I guess we're gonna wrap things up then. I will wrap my side up, then you can wrap your side up. We do have a Patreon over for DDO Players. If you would like to help support the show and what we do, you can go over to our donations page. It's going to be linked in our show notes. You can support us over on Patreon. All that money is used for podcast hosting, web hosting, to pay for the live shows and any other fees that we incur because it's kind of expensive to do this stuff. So anything you can do to help would be great. If you don't want to do a monthly Patreon, that's cool too. Just send me an email, Drac at DDO Players, and we can talk about what that will look like. You can follow me on Twitter over at Draculetta _72 and at DDO Players is where you can find me. And what about you, Patrick?
Yeah, you can check out our website, DDOCast.com, for MP3s, show notes, calendar, previous shows, other fun stuff, including some adventures in DDO and D&D tabletop, and some other games. So we'll post up stuff there occasionally. Also on our YouTube page and DDOcast on Twitch. Those are the places I usually post most of the stuff. Follow me at DDOcast on Twitter. That's kind of the social media platform I use. I usually post some stuff on Facebook, but it's usually just like, hey, the show's posted and we're doing a show, right? Like I don't
usually all I do on Facebook.
Yeah,
too.
I don't really invest too much. I mean, I don't really invest on either one. I'm not. If you'd like to be a social media manager for DDOcast or DDO Players News, let us know.
Exactly.
But so and find on the podcast feed. People don't seem to have an issue finding the stuff they don't want to find it. But hey, tell your friends. That's always fun. Also, want to mention it has been. We have information provided by the amazing chat for the night from the DDO Wiki. Dirty Kobold, a hot chocolate drink suitable for cool nights on the veranda.
Not what I was expecting to
Right?
be a default, but okay.
I mean, I like the chocolate drink is good. I think we're on the right track.
Okay, yeah.
Hot is fine, but I'm thinking like it needs some like I don't know Irish whiskey or something, like a little bit of booziness.
I will work on this.
Yeah,
I will
a little update.
I will come up with a boozy version of the Dirty Kobold.
There we go. Wait, who was it that used to have a segment, I think, on DDOcast of like mixing drinks or something like that?
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm never
was it? That was a long time ago. Yeah.
Well, no one's done segments since I started doing the show, and that was like 350 episodes ago.
Long time.
If you'd like to do a segment, let me know. We can do that.
Yeah.
Be great.
There you go.
You want to say the tagline?
Oh, sure. But I don't remember. Oh, let me look at your show notes because I don't remember what your
hurry up.
tagline is. Oh, hurry up. Hold on. My computer's not scrolling fast enough. Oh no.
May all your attack rolls be crits. All your chest level appropriate. Have fun and don't forget to gather for buffs.
I couldn't scroll fast enough.